Hello my dear sewing friends, it's Alisa here, and in today's quick and easy project we are going to be making these adorable bunnies. You can make these as home decor, you can make these as a gift, and even as a project for your craft group. But first you will need to print out a template. Now this template is available in the description of this video, and usually I make these for the members of the channel, but this time this one is available for everybody. So as I mentioned, the link will be in the description of this video. You can see that there's two pattern pieces, so let's go ahead and cut these out right on the black line. The next step is to decide what fabric you want to use, and you can use whatever fabric scraps that you have, but I particularly like how linen gives that rustic feel and look to these little bunnies, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Now, take two fabric scraps that are large enough for your template, plus a little bit extra since the seam allowances are not included. Place one on top of another, and then take the template, place it like so. I like to align the cross grain of the fabric with the bottom of the bunny and pin it. You can also leave it as that, whichever is easier. Grab a marking tool. In my case, I'm using a darker marker that is water soluble. In your case, you will use something a little bit lighter. And let's go ahead and outline this. Now, let's remove the template and still pin the two layers of fabric like so, and you can also insert a little pin over here, maybe here and here. Now we want to stitch from the bottom all the way around right on the marking line and all the way here, leaving this bottom line unsewn. Next, let's head to the sewing machine. We're going to be using a regular straight stitch, but I like to decrease the stitch length. I find it easier to work with that, especially when we're going to be reducing and clipping seam allowances later. Because we have so many curves, you will see that I often stop, leave the needle inside of the project, lift up the presser foot, and pivot in the direction that I need to go. As always, we're going to start with the back stitch and end with the back stitch as well. This is what we have right now. Next step is to cut everything out, leaving about 1/8 of an inch seam allowance away from the seam itself. And we're going to do it all the way around. However, right here on the bottom, as you can see, I left 1/2 inch seam allowance. Next, I'm going to grab smaller scissors and I'm going to clip in all of the corners, almost all the way up to the stitch line, but not through it. So that way we don't clip through the thread itself. And then I'm also going to grade the seam allowances as well. Any curved areas, let's go ahead and give it a couple of notches so that way it will turn out a little bit better. At this point, it's also helpful if we fold this 1/2 inch in, and here you can either finger press it or, depending on your fabric, give it a press with an iron as well. And I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Now we can go ahead and turn it right side out. Using the rolling motion of your fingertips definitely helps when you're working through all of those curves. At this point, if your fabric allows it, it's a good idea to give it a press. After that, let's grab stuffing, fluff it up a little bit, and then fill it in. When done, we have one last thing to do. Grab the smaller pattern piece, place it on a scrap piece of fabric, trace it around, and then cut it out, giving yourself about 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. Additionally, I do like giving it a stitch right on the traced line on the sewing machine. I just find that it's really useful when we go ahead and sew it in. Here we will also need to clip in the seam allowances. This time I'm not going to grade them, I'm going to leave them as is, and I'm going to clip all the way around, almost to the stitching line but not through. To fold these seam allowances towards the wrong side of the fabric, what I usually do, I simply place the template back right in the middle, grab an iron, and then while folding these to the middle, I give it a good press. The pattern piece is small, so just make sure that you watch your fingers as you're doing this. To attach the bottom, I'm going to grab a hand sew needle and thread, and then I'm going to grab the bottom piece, and this part right over here, I am going to place it right in the middle of the seam of the bottom of the bunny. Then insert the needle, pull it through, and then continue stitching all the way around using a blanket stitch. You can of course finagle a little bit and do this on a sewing machine as well, but because pattern pieces are so small, I prefer doing it by hand. I find it goes much neater and faster. Now you can fluff it up a little bit, like so. And also test it out. Your bunny should be able to stand on its own. The last and final part is to make a little ribbon to go around the neck of the bunny. You can use already made ribbon, or you can cut your own from a piece of fabric that you have. Then simply tie it around the neck, and that's it. You are done. Next, I would love to show you how to make these adorable Easter and Christmas baskets. And if you'd like to see how, then click on the video right over here. I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy, thoughtful sewing. I'll see you soon. Bye!